Welcome, dear listeners, to History with Herodotus, where the fabric of time is woven into the tapestry of human experience. Today, we embark on a journey to the shores of Normandy to explore one of the most pivotal moments in modern history, D-Day. As we delve into the origins of this fateful event, let us first set the stage for the drama that was to unfold. It is the year 1942, and the world is ablaze with conflict. The Axis powers, led by Germany, Italy, and Japan, have been making strides across Europe, Africa, and Asia, leaving devastation in their wake. The Allies, comprising the United States, Great Britain, and the Soviet Union, are determined to stem the tide of Nazi aggression. In the midst of this chaos, a plan begins to take shape, a plan that will ultimately lead to the largest seaborne invasion in history. In the sun-drenched gardens and ornate conference rooms of the Anfa Hotel in Morocco, Churchill and Roosevelt convene with their military leaders in January 1943. The Casablanca Conference marks a turning point in the war, as the Allies begin to coalesce around a unified strategy for the defeat of Nazi Germany. It is here that the seeds of Operation Overlord, as D-Day would come to be known. As we delve deeper into the origins of D-Day, we find ourselves in the midst of a complex web of military planning and diplomatic maneuvering. In the spring of 1943, the Allies established the Combined Chiefs of Staff, a joint committee tasked with overseeing the planning and execution of Operation Overlord. General Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Supreme Allied Commander, works tirelessly to bring together the disparate threads of the invasion plan, coordinating the efforts of American, British, Canadian, and French forces. The months leading up to D-Day are marked by a series of smaller-scale operations designed to test German defenses and gather vital intelligence on the enemy's dispositions. The Dieppe raid, launched in August 1942, proves disastrous, with over 3,600 Allied troops killed, wounded, or captured. However, it provides valuable lessons for the planners of Operation Overlord, highlighting the need for careful planning and coordination. The Allied invasion of Sicily, codenamed Operation Husky, which takes place in July 1943, serves as a dress rehearsal for the larger invasion to come. The successful landing of over 150,000 troops on the sun-kissed beaches of Sicily demonstrates the feasibility of a large-scale amphibious assault and provides a much-needed boost to Allied morale. As we explore the origins of D-Day, we find ourselves in the company of some of the most notable figures of the war. Winston Churchill, the indefatigable British Prime Minister, plays a crucial role in shaping the Allied strategy, his oratory skills and unwavering resolve helping to galvanize support for the invasion. Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, provides vital leadership and vision, his commitment to the Allied cause unshakable. In the midst of this unfolding drama, we find General Bernard Montgomery, the brilliant and sometimes cantankerous British Field Marshal, who will ultimately lead the Allied ground forces on D-Day. His meticulous planning and attention to detail will prove instrumental in the success of the invasion. The events we are about to witness are not merely the product of chance or circumstance, but rather the culmination of human ingenuity, perseverance, and an unyielding commitment to the values that have always defined us as a species. It is June 6, 1944, and the fate of Europe hangs precariously in the balance. The Allied forces, comprising over 106,000 troops from America, Britain, Canada, and France, are poised to storm the beaches of Normandy, codenamed Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword. As the dawn breaks, a mighty armada of ships and landing craft emerges from the misty veil of the English Channel, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of a generation. The invasion begins with an intense bombardment of German positions by Allied warships and aircraft, as waves of troops disembark onto the beaches amidst a maelstrom of artillery fire, machine gun bursts, and the cries of the wounded. On Omaha Beach, the U.S. 1st and 29th Infantry Divisions face some of the fiercest resistance, with soldiers struggling to overcome treacherous terrain, fortified bunkers, and entrenched German troops. Despite the chaos and carnage, the Allies begin to gain a foothold on the continent. The bravery and sacrifice of individual soldiers, such as the men of the 101st Airborne Division, who parachuted behind enemy lines under the cover of darkness, prove instrumental in securing key objectives and paving the way for the advancing troops. As the day wears on, the Allies establish a series of tenuous beachheads which will eventually coalesce into a solid front line. The German army, although formidable, is caught off guard by the sheer scale and audacity of the invasion, and its defenses begin to crumble under the relentless pressure. The leadership of General Dwight D. Eisenhower, the supreme Allied commander, proves crucial in navigating the complexities of the invasion as he works tirelessly to coordinate the efforts of his commanders, including Generals Omar Bradley, Bernard Montgomery, and George S. Patton. The meticulous planning and attention to detail, which characterized the preparation for D-Day, begin to bear fruit as the Allies start to push inland, securing key towns, roads, and strategic locations. As we explore this pivotal moment in history, we find ourselves in the company of some remarkable individuals whose courage, ingenuity, and determination helped shape the course of events. We see the likes of General Charles de Gaulle, the leader of the Free French forces, who plays a vital role in rallying the French people to the Allied cause, and the brave men and women of the French resistance, who risk everything to provide crucial intelligence and support to the invading forces. In the midst of this unfolding drama, we witness the emergence of new technologies and tactics which will forever change the face of modern warfare. The Allies' use of amphibious landing craft, gliders, and parachutes allows for unprecedented mobility and flexibility on the battlefield, while the Germans' reliance on fortified bunkers, minefields, and artillery proves increasingly ineffective against the sheer weight of Allied firepower. The events we have witnessed are not merely the product of chance or circumstance, but rather the culmination of human ingenuity, perseverance, and an unyielding commitment to the values that have always defined us as a species. The days and weeks following D-Day were marked by intense fighting as the Allies sought to expand their beachheads and break out of the Normandy pocket. The Germans, despite being caught off guard by the invasion, quickly regrouped and launched a series of fierce counterattacks aimed at driving the Allies back into the sea. The battle for Normandy was far from over, and the Allies faced numerous challenges as they sought to overcome the formidable German defenses. One of the key challenges facing the Allies was the need to secure a deep-water port, which would allow them to bring in the vast quantities of supplies and equipment needed to sustain their advance. The port city of Cherbourg, located on the Cotentin Peninsula, became a crucial objective, as it offered the only suitable harbor for large ships. After a grueling campaign, which saw intense fighting and significant casualties on both sides, the Allies finally captured Cherbourg on June 26, 1944. The fall of Cherbourg marked a significant turning point in the battle for Normandy, as it allowed the Allies to establish a secure supply line and begin to build up their forces for the next phase of the campaign. The Germans, meanwhile, were facing increasing pressure on all fronts, as the Soviet Union launched a massive offensive on the Eastern Front, codenamed Operation Bagration, which would ultimately lead to the collapse of the German Army Group Center. As the Allies continued to push deeper into France, they encountered pockets of fierce resistance, particularly in urban areas such as Caen and Saint-Louis. The battle for Caen, which began on June 6, 1944, would rage on for several weeks, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. The city was finally liberated on July 20, 1944, after a brutal and devastating campaign that saw widespread destruction and civilian casualties. The liberation of Western Europe was a complex and multifaceted process, involving not only military operations, but also the contributions of countless individuals and groups who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to support the Allied effort. The French resistance, in particular, played a vital role, providing crucial intelligence, sabotage, and guerrilla warfare that helped to disrupt German communications and supply lines. As we explore this pivotal moment in history, we find ourselves in the company of remarkable individuals whose courage, ingenuity, and determination helped shape the course of events. We see the likes of General George S. Patton, who led the U.S. Chast Third Army with distinction, as it broke out of the Normandy pocket and began to push deep into France. We also witnessed the emergence of new technologies and tactics, which would forever change the face of modern warfare, such as the use of tactical air power, artillery, and armored formations. The aftermath of D-Day marked a significant shift in the balance of power in Europe, as the Allies gained momentum and the Germans began to lose ground. The road to victory was long and bloody, with many challenges still ahead, but the bravery, sacrifice, and perseverance of the Allied forces ultimately paved the way for the liberation of Western Europe and the defeat of Nazi Germany. As we reflect on this momentous period in history, we are reminded of the power of human ingenuity, courage, and determination. The events we have witnessed are a testament to the enduring spirit of freedom and democracy, which has shaped the course of human experience and continues to inspire us today. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.